of you all for the Sunday morning Bhagavad Gita class. So we are in chapter 2. So before we go ahead with today's class, let's take a fast recap of what has happened till now in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Let me see how much all of you all remember. So, yes.
Happiness and distress are non-permanent and they will come and go.
How did Krishna start the second chapter? Because first chapter Krishna has not spoken a single word. It is in the second chapter that Krishna has opened his mouth. And he speaks the words Asochan Vasoceswam Pradyam Vadhamsa Bhasyase Gatasun Agatasunamsya Na Anusochita Panditaha. That's how Krishna starts speaking. So like you are speaking like a Panditaha, but actually you are not a Pandit. You are talking like a fool. And Asochan Vasoceswam Pradyam Vadhamsa Bhasyase. You are giving big talks. Gatasunam Agatasunamsya. What is permanent and what is temporary, ये दोनों का अंतर आप नहीं जानते हो. You are not aware of what is permanent and what is temporary. So this gives you the definition of Panditaha. Pandit means one who knows what is Sat and what is Asat. One who knows what is genuine, what is permanent and what is temporary. ये difference जानने वाला व्यक्ति ही Why should we know? What is the big thing? Why one person? Because in क्यों बनना है? What's the big deal? Just take the camera, Mataji. Huh? Come out of the bodily concept. Okay, fine. That's okay. That's
the real reason why we have got this word.
Okay. What is it?
We know where to focus more and where to give more importance.
Where to give more importance and where to focus. Okay, fine.
Unless and until we realize what is permanent.
Something more.
You have to be soul conscious.
Okay, I'm soul conscious. Fine.
You have to love the Lord.
Okay, you can love the Lord. Fine.
Demotivation will come.
Demotivation, no, it's okay, fine. Okay. Demotivation for what?
If you do not know that there is sadness is there today,
Yes, your answer is close. Now I'll tell you what is the exact understanding of it. When you know it's a tangible effect in your life or not. Everything may not be gross, there may be some subtle thing also. You know, even so called मेरे गुरु को मारने वाला हूँ, मेरे भाई को मारने वाला हूँ. So first try to understand what is temporary and what is permanent. Suppose he doesn't kill them by arrows. Are they permanent? In any case, they are going to die. So death is inevitable for them. But then how you become an instrument in establishing dharma is more important. Because you are an instrument in establishing dharma. You are not dharma. You cannot establish dharma. You can become an instrument in establishing dharma. So that is the reason why Lord specific reason of using this word. Gatasun agatasunamsya na anusochita panditaha. A pandit will never have this duality. And duality means clear कि भाई मुझे क्या मेरे लिए जरूरी है और क्या नहीं है. Otherwise वो जैसा अर्जुन रो रहा है ना, हम लोग सब भी वैसे ही रो रहे हैं. We are also lamenting the same way. Temporary things we are not having. What is he lamenting for the use if I don't get money? Money is important, but then what is the use if I don't enjoy it? How will I enjoy it? These are all confusions. So we are all basically representative of Arjuna's confused mind. Then what did Krishna say? देख के बोलो चलेगा, no problem.
You always existed and me also always. I was always existed.
हाँ, no, before that something happened. He waited for Arjuna to surrender. हम लोग खा जाते हैं. You have to, that is how you have to be. Open the book and read once and twice during the week also. If you open once or twice, it's not a bad deal. You are always benefited. So, what did he say? First and foremost, he said that he was waiting, silently was waiting after saying that, and he was smiling at Arjuna. And then what did Arjuna say? Karpanya dosha ahata swabhava praschami tvam dharma samudu chetasa yak shreyasa nishchitam bruhitan me shishyastyaham sadhimam tvam prapannam. He declares clearly, by I am overcome by meagerly weaknesses. Karpanya dosha ahata swabhava praschami tvam. Praschami means I am asking you. Praschami tvam, to you. Dharma samudu chetasaha. In the matter of this dharma of my relatives, my friends, my duty, my accused. Praschami tvam dharma samudu chetasa yak shreyasan. What is shreya? So then he says, I would like to be your shishya, I surrender. And that is the moment where Krishna starts speaking the exact full Bhagavad Gita. Till then it is just the background of the Bhagavad Gita. From this point, from 2.7, the actual Bhagavad Gita starts, where he starts speaking about those things. So that is where he starts the actual Bhagavad Gita, starts saying. Then what does he speak? Then he speaks about, why are you lamenting? They were also there. We were also there. I was also there. We all were there. Prayed for something which is durable. And why are you lamenting for something which is anyhow not durable? It is going to get extinguished. Then he starts slowly with the Sankhya philosophy. The Sankhya philosophy starts. Right now we are in the Sankhya philosophy. So what is Sankhya philosophy? Sankhya. Sankhya means it gives you the definition, the quantumization and the various aspects of it. So I think we have completed verse 22. So read from 2.20 you start, so that we get the flow of it. Yes, Mataji. Before that, one more important point which I forgot. 2.13. What is that?
We are in the same body since
Dehino asmin yatha dehe kaumaram yonam jara tadhyahantara prapti dhirastratra muyati. What does this mean? We have been changing our body, but we have remained the same. Dehino asmin yatha dehe kaumaram yonam jara. So it is not that our body has not just remained the same, it has changed from childhood. Born as 2.5 kgs, now he is how many? 5 kilos? 7 kilos? Annually 5 kilos से बढ़ता रहेगा इसका. 15 kilos? My God, लगता नहीं है तुझे देख के. So hardly born. Okay. So now this small child was 2.5 kilos, born as 2.5 kilos. Now he is 15 kilos. Tomorrow he will become 40 kilos, and then one day he will end up becoming 80 kilos and 90 kilos also. So this is part of it. So what we start with the young body, then our body goes to youthhood, then old age, kaumaram, yuvanam. Kaumaram means childhood, yuvanam means youthhood, jaraha means old age, old body. So these are the different transformations which take place. And after these transformations, one has to feel that yes, what has changed? Have you changed? You still feel, अरे कल ही तो मैं स्कूल में था, अभी कल ही तो मैं कॉलेज से बाहर निकला हूँ, कल ही तो शादी हुई थी, अब पोते हो गए. It's like that's if you see there's a jet lag in our body. We ourselves, what we feel and what we are, there's a big jet lag. No one feels what age he is. He feels 10 years behind me. Apparently feels. But the body is different, in a different state. And when you are not able to do certain thing, अरे बुढ़ापा आ गया, कमर साथ नहीं दे, हाथ मतलब काम नहीं हो रहा है. So you realize, yes, but actually what you are feeling, you are little much ahead. Your body is much ahead with respect to the physiology. So that was discussed. Yes, Mataji, please start with 20.
For the soul, there is neither birth or death,
I think I will have to explain 14 also in the first recap, then I will go with this. Sorry. 14. What is 2.14 talking about? Matra sparshasthu kaunteya sitoshna sukh daha agam apaino anitya. Bhai, life mein sukh dukh is like summer and winter. Nothing is permanent. And you know, sukh and dukh आपका कमा हुआ चीज है, आपका खुद का पर्सनल सेविंग से निकला हुआ चीज है, अर्निंग से. Whatever you earned, you are encashing it. Whether you don't want or you want, you are going to get it. It's your personal thing. So, what do we understand from this? Yes, that life is going to be up and downs. So, what is the first instruction? What he is telling, Krishna is telling, Tamsa titikshuha bharataha. Learn to tolerate. Don't get jittered. With up and down situation in life, don't get jittered. Tolerate. Okay. I'll manage. I'll do it. Slowly. Somewhere you have to. That is why Lord is saying, tolerate. And then, rest is all the supporting verses only. Yeah.
For the soul there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain, and when the body is slain.
न जायते म्रियते व कदाचन अयम भूत्वा भविता न भूयः अजो नित्य शाश्वतो यम पुराणो न हन्यते न जायते म्रियते व कदाचन. Never does it take birth, never does it die. Never, न जायते म्रियते व कदाचन. कदाचन means never. And भगवान का words are final. न जायते म्रियते व कदाचन अयम भूत्वा भविता न भूयः. Nor in the past, nor in the present, nor in the future. Ajo nitya. Aja means unborn. Ajanma. Aja nitya. Always eternal. Shashvato. Permanent. Yam purano. Please, all of you समझ लेना, आप सब पुराना माल बैठे हो. हम सब पुराने माल हैं, कोई नया प्रोडक्शन नहीं है. वही कभी गधा, कभी घोड़ा, कभी कुत्ता, कभी बिल्ली, कभी मछली, तो कभी पक्षी, तो कभी कीड़ा. बट बैक टू न्यू. हाँ, मतलब पेड़े खाओ. मेरे घर पे बच्चे हुए हैं, हमारे घर पे बेटा हुआ, बेटी हुआ, जो भी हुआ है. बट व्हाट इज इट? सेम. व्हाट डू यू अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम दिस? दैट अजो नित्य शाश्वत यम पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमारे शरीरे. So finally the conclusion of this verse is, when the body is slain, the soul is not slain. Next verse.
O Partha, how can person who knows that the soul is indestructible, eternal, unborn and immutable, kill anyone or cause anyone to kill?
Yes. How can someone who can, when you have got this knowledge, फिर आपको कैसे लगता है आप मार पाओगे? Krishna asks Arjuna this question. But now the most common verse printed in all magazines at the time of death with a nice photograph is, हाँ अभी आप ये सब आप लोग ही बोल सकते हैं. बोलिए. पसाम सी जीर्णा नहीं यथा व्याय नवानि ग्रहंति नरो प्राणी तत् इहाय जीर्णाय सम्यानि. What is it? Tata charani vihaya jirnaya anyani samiti navani dehi. So what does the Lord say in this? That as one gives up old clothes, he takes up new clothes. Similarly, this body is like a cloth for the soul. What is your actual identity? You say, I am the body, but you are actually the soul. What actual understanding should be that we are a soul, and that's what he is saying. It's like death is like change of dress and change of address. That is the definition of death. Very simple. Change of dress and change of address. That's it. Complete. Yes, who can read the next verse? Yeah, please.
The soul can never be cut into pieces by any weapon, nor burned by the fire. nor moistened by water, nor withered by
नैनम चिंदन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनम दहति पावका न चक्लयोदन्ति आपो न सोस्यति मारुतः. So what does this? Again, these are all the attributes of the soul, the qualities of the soul. जैसे आप मोबाइल लेते हो तो उसमें स्पेक्स लिखा रहता है ना, these are specifications. अगर कोई स्पेसिफिकेशन पूछे, स्पेक्स पूछे तो आप बता सकते हैं, यू कैन से दैट आई एम अ सोल एंड दीज आर माई स्पेसिफिकेशन. कितना कितना जीबी रैम है, कितना मेमोरी है, कितना ये है, हम लोग बता दें. तो आगे सब नॉट बी वेटेड, कैन नॉट बी बर्न्ड. सो दीज आर द क्वालिटीज ऑफ अ सोल. लेट्स गो नेक्स्ट.
is everlasting, present everywhere, unchangeable, immovable, eternally the same.
So these are again the attributes that Achedeyo, Akladeyo, Adahayo. Again, what he has said the earlier verse, he is repeating the same things in a different manner. The individual soul is unbreakable and insoluble, and can be neither be burnt nor dried. Again, he is repeating the same thing. So that means what? He wants to make sure that we understand this perfectly. Please read the purport, Prabhu.
All these qualifications of the soul definitely prove that the individual soul is eternally an atomic particle of the spirit, and he remains the same atom eternally, without change. The theory of monism is very difficult to apply in this case, because the individual soul is never expected to become one homogeneously. After liberation from material contamination, the atomic soul may therefore to retain as a spiritual spark in the effulgent rays of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the intellect, there is no doubt, land in the water, in Christ, in fire, does not accept the fire. Therefore, there is no doubt that
the body may die, but soul of the germ does not die. If we burn anything, let's say some insects are there and wood, and the wood is burnt, the insects die. Yeah, the insect's body is a wrong understanding that insects or pests or living entities. But like cockroach in a nice AC room, try to keep them in a nice AC room with nice Govindas ka khana wana manga ke khilao unko. They will not eat. They will not eat. They want that dirty environment, and that way they survive. So that as many Shastra confirms that in the sun planet there is life. Other world there are no living entities. There may be an ET. What you are talking of ET? For them you are an ET, extraterrestrial creature. For them you are an extraterrestrial creature. Secondly, when you understand the full way in which the Bhumandal is made, it's creation for waste. He has made this Mars, Jupiter, Moon, this, that, everything. Just ऐसे काम धंधा नहीं है. सब अक्ल इधर ही डाल दिया, धरती में भी डाल दिया. बाकी सब ऐसे created everything. But out of that most intelligent, he made only this so-called creation. It's void. No, everywhere there are living entities. Yeah, following some devotional path or some other higher planets we may go. But there is no guarantee every planet is having living entities. For example, Vamandev is in Sutal-lok. Lord Vamandev himself is standing in Sutal-lok. So what do you understand? This is every living entity, every planet living entities or every loka living entities do exist. It is a wrong understanding to think that in higher planetary systems, or rather other than the world, it's totally void, or fictitiously we may imagine there are some higher living entities, there were some evolved species with two hands like this, something like this. I don't know. How could you derive that the aliens could be like this? The movies and all, okay, they are all friction movies. That's what. They create another, they are going to lose and finally they win, and then we make feel we are superior earth living beings. What are we? Vishnu Sahasranam, it is said like Jantur. The word addresses, even one of the sloka of Bhagavad Gita, it is as Bhagavatam, it is addressed as Jantur. So we are like Kide Makode. in front of those demigods whose lifespan are so big, it's like 6 months, they have half a day, that is half a day for them. It's half a day or rather daytime for them, and then other 6 months of hours is night time for them. तो इसके लिए हम देव उठन एकादशी और देव शयन एकादशी करते हैं. तो क्या व्हाट डज दिस मीन? उठन एकादशी मीन्स अभी देवता का दिन चालू हो गया, गुड मॉर्निंग हो गया उनके लिए. एंड देन देव शयन एकादशी, चलो आई एम गोइंग टू रिटायर फॉर द डे, ही गोज टू स्लीप, द देवतास गो टू स्लीप. सो द ओनली एंटिटीज के सामने वी फायर आवर सो कॉल्ड idiotic laser guns, and we think through the Shastra to understand that we are also one in the race, that's all. That it is mentioned very nicely in lower planetary system, there are more better bhogas than what we are doing here. There are better bhogas, but then finally bhoga life will lead you to no tangible benefit. हम लोग सब स्वर्ग जाएंगे, अप्सरा के साथ नाचेंगे, थोड़ा खाएंगे. Then what? Over, come back here, again rot, again suffer in this material, complete. Only one. Monism means only oneness. हम और भगवान एक हैं, ये भी मोनिज्म में आता है. आप भी नारायण, मैं भी नारायण. That is a wrong understanding. हम नारायण के अंश हैं. Like for example, what's your surname? So let's say you are an ansh of your father, but you are not your father. You're getting the point? You are an ansh from your parent, so a father will always remain father, a son may always remain son. But the problem is we see it from the material. See, और हजारों गोपियों के साथ रास लीला खेले थे. I can't do it, so even he cannot do it. That's the first thing comes in the mind, right? I can't do it. How can he do it? If, oh, Lord lifted the Govardhan when he was of 7 years old. How can I? At this age of 40 or 30 also I cannot lift one small brick. How can God lift the mountain? Fascinated. Oh, you know, Mr. Ambani has 1 lakh rupees ka check. Why? Again you are seeing from your limousine car, he thinks okay, and we are also at par. This is actually this world is a rectification center. That is why, if the entire Bhumandal is there, where various activities can be done, the earth is the jail or rehabilitation center. The earth is a rehabilitation center. In the entire Bhumandal, Bharat Varshe, Bharat Khande, Meroho, Dakshine Parasve, from in the Meroho, the Meru Parvat ka Dakshin mein hai ye धरती. तो भारत खंड 9 खंड में विभाजित है. उस 9 खंड में एक खंड है भारतवर्ष. भारतवर्ष में एक छोटा सा बटन जैसा है, लड्डू जैसा है, छोटा सा अर्थ. So what is this? Prabhupada says many places, when a country is made, the country makes nice highways, nice factories, and nice buildings, and nice residential places, nice industrial places, IT parks and all that. But at the same time it builds some police station and jail also. Same way you have to understand, this earth is a rectification center. Choice is there. Rehabilitation center, I mean, I do not ask this. But anyway, you have any idea how rehabilitation center works? You have any idea? Anyone knows? Okay, one of my friends was running a rehabilitation center. That's what I'll tell you. He used to say 80% drunkards, 80% go back. Only 20% get rehabilitated actually. So these rehab centers, they try. And he told me, it was a shocking thing, people run away from these rehab centers because they can't control their senses and all. I mean, as the case may be, they run away from that. Similarly, here also the same cases. This rehab center we come, but finally 80%, here I think 99% back to the same old monkey business. Only it is that 1 or 2% who thinks about rectification, and then out of that decimal percentage of people try to actually rectify themselves. So this is what we have to understand, that this Bhumandal is this earth is a rectification center where we are supposed to rectify our ideology or thinking. And what is that? The difference between tangible and non-tangible things. What is permanent and what is temporary. And if we are able to किसके पीछे भागना है और किसके पीछे नहीं भागना है. Yes, continue.
Therefore, there is no doubt that there are living entities also in the sun planet with suitable bodies. Then the word is said that the soul is invisible, inconceivable, and
Inconceivable. Immutable.
Knowing this, you should not grieve for the body.
So the last line is most important. The first line is only talking about the attributes of the soul again. It is immutable, it is invisible. Scientific experiments. Man about to die was kept in a glass chamber, and they wanted to, but it was very famous during my colleges. So it is, their revelations were a small cracks in. Because thing is, we are trying to see something which is not all seeable. Invisible. Lord has clearly said in the Bhagavad Gita, the soul is invisible. इसके लिए ये भूत प्रेत का सब जो आता है, हरि बोल, voice okay? Suddenly the voice dropped. हरि बोल, हरे कृष्णा. Battery is here. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay. So, this was very, just reduce a little, this is volume a little. Scientists tried to do this experiment, and the so-called, I could see the ghost and all. It was found that most of the time it was just a hysterical situation or a hallucination created by the people. It didn't exist. That doesn't mean Shastra doesn't rule, mind and intelligence and false ego. These three things, that is the subtle body and the soul together forms the ghost, where it is lacking the gross body made of 5 elements, Bhumi, Apo, Analo, Vayu and Kam. So that's another problem. Soul is inconceivable. Is the Lord conceivable? Even Lord is inconceivable for a person of less intelligence or average intelligence. That is why Virata Purusha is described very nicely in the Bhagavatam. Why the Virata Purusha is described? Because in that form we see how the Purusha is, how the Purusha works. The whole, it is, see, the problem is, if let's say about 50 years before, if someone had talked about a mobile phone in some rural village, like you just have an instrument, you talk like this, and without wire you can speak, could they conceive it? Could they accept it? All about a fax machine. Let's say if someone puts a piece of paper here, and somewhere the other country or the other side of the globe, the same thing is coming out in the same manner. What do we understand from that? That time it was inconceivable. So many things, many times when we describe about God or God's creation and all, it becomes inconceivable. That's why scientists put an atheistic philosophy. This world came from. Then he said, no, that's constant again. Then again, and finally they got fed up. Kitna bar constant change karega? Hubble's variable. How they are saying is, it was a minute, that is which they called as God particle. And that was hit by a neutron. Now the question rises, suppose, first and foremost, this theory is not at all acceptable. That's why they did that big tunnel-like thing. And why did they use the word God particle? Because they wanted fund for that project. They wanted fund for their project. So they knew when they put the word God particle, people will give money. So what they did, what does the theory say? It is a one small particle and it is as small as a atom, which they are calling as God particle, and that is hit from a electron. An electron hits it. So what does the nucleus have? Electrons and protons. So the electron which is, that electron came out, not answerable. They are not having any logical. So they named it as God particle and khatam ho gaya baat. If you read the Shastra, उस हिसाब से man reaching moon is unimaginable. मैं वापस गया नहीं. Is it possible? Right, the still lot to be evolved out of it. So here we are trying to understand everything with respect to us is inconceivable. Inconceivable. That is the problem with the soul. People are trying to identify the soul, try to see the soul, trying to feel the soul. It cannot be felt the way in which mechanical process by which we are trying to see the soul. Go to the next verse.
If, however, you think that the soul or the symptoms of life will always be born and die forever, you still have no reason to lament or mighty arm.
Oh, mighty armed Arjuna, he is saying this. Say, now he has come to a gross understanding. पहला अगर बच्चा एकदम डब्बू होगा पढ़ाई में, तो माँ बोलेगी बेटा ये कम से कम ये कर ले, ये कर ले, ये कर ले, ये कर ले, 70-80 तो मिलेगा. और जैसे जैसे नज़दीक एग्ज़ाम नज़दीक आ रहा है, मम्मी रियलाइजेस ये बच्चा डब्बू है. हाँ, आई कांट गेट मच आउट ऑफ हिम. ठीक है, ये छोड़ दे. हाँ, 70 नहीं से 60 तो मिलेगा. चल ठीक है, ये छोड़ दे, 40 पे आ जा. एंड में कहीं से भी 35 लेके आ बस. हाँ, डेस्परेट हो जाता है. दिस इज लाइक दैट. लॉर्ड इज टेलिंग, अच्छा मैं इतना समझाया, द सोल इज immutable, indissoluble, inconceivable, cannot be cut, cannot be withered, cannot be burnt, everything blah 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 he has said. And then he's saying, chalo मान लिया, now you think the person dies. The chapter is over with the death of a person. Even in that case, why are you lamenting? So he is trying to give all types of ways in which he wants to prove that, Bhaiya, you fight. Please fight. You don't stand, like a napunsak, like a eunuch. You have to fight. Get up and fight. That's right. However, if you think that the soul or the symptoms of life, what is this? Within bracket, why is Prabhupada writing the symptoms of life? Mataji, you are physically here, mentally somewhere. हाँ, बोलिए. जैसे मैं पूछा सब लोग बुक में अंदर, तब तो मुझे बाहर. बोलिए. Yes, consciousness is that. Even if a person is in coma, still his hair grows, his nail grows, because there is a source of energy inside the body, and that is the soul and the super soul. दोनों साथ में हैं. अगर आप बोलेंगे I don't believe God, I dislike God, I want to remove God from my life, the minute you remove God from your body, your soul also goes off. So it's like you can't. It's like there is some main power generating center and there is a sub distribution center. The sub distribution center is dependent on the main power supply center or the main generating center. So it's like this, the soul may be the power distribution center, but the Paramatma or Krishna in our heart is the main power producing center. So that is the reason. So if however you think that is the soul, that is why he is putting the symptom of life. It itself shows it is a symptom or the presence of soul. It itself is a symptom of life. Is always born and dies forever. You will have no reasons to lament, O mighty armed. Yes. Go to the next one. आज 33 तो complete करना है.
and after death, one is sure to take birth again. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament.
So that is a total utter push of knowledge. अभी इतना बताया, अब क्या बता? ठीक है, अगर आप समझते हो आत्मा जन्म लेके मर रहा है, फिर भी तुम क्यों रो रहे हो? एंड नाउ ही इज रिकन्फर्म, न जायते मरियते व कदाचन, अयम भविता भूय ना व्हाट इज दैट, न जातस्य ध्रुवं मृत्यु ध्रुवं जन्म मृत्युस्य च तस्माद् अपरिहार्य अर्थे न त्वं शोचितुम् अर्हसि। जातस्य ध्रुवं मृत्यु, जो जन्म लेगा, जैसे आपका मैन्युफैक्चर दिखता नहीं है, दिखता नहीं है, इसके लिए हम ज्योतिष के पास जाते हैं, कितना साल और हाथ दिखाते हैं, ज्योतिष के पास जाके दिखाते हैं कितना टाइम है बाकी मेरे पास, बस वी डोंट नो आवर एक्सपायरी डेट। बट अगेन ही सेइंग, भाई अगर मर भी गया तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है? जातस्य ध्रुवं मृत्यु ध्रुवं जन्म मृत्युस्य च, जो मर गया वो जन्म लेगा, जो जन्म लेगा वो मरेगा ही फॉर श्योर। तस्मात् अपरिहारे हरते, व्हाट इज द वर्ड टू वर्ड मीनिंग ऑफ अपरिहारे? अनअवॉइडेबल, अपरिहारे। इसका क्या परिहार क्या है? हम लोग कहते हैं इसका क्या कोई परिहार है क्या, और कोई ऑल्टरनेटिव है क्या? इट इज, देयर इज नो ऑल्टरनेटिव फॉर दैट। हाँ, यू मे लिव लॉन्गर, वन मे लिव शॉर्टर, वन मे लिव लॉन्गर, but death is unavoidable, it is confirmed. Tasmat apariyararthe na tvam sochatam arhasi, you should not think about it. So what does this verse actually give us? What understanding does it give? Let me ask the new students first. Yes, Smita, right? Siddhi, yeah. Yes, Siddhi, what do you understand from this? There's no use coming to this class. What's the use? Anyhow मरना ही है, class attend करके क्यों मरूँ? Attending the class, brother, live and die one day if I have to die in any case. Then don't read it. I just want your what's there in your mind. I want to understand that. What did you understand from this?
Attached to any external.
Very good. Yeah, open up, speak. Now that you're going to die, you're going to take birth again, and again you're going to take birth is also not eternal, you're going to die again. So what's the use of this knowledge? क्या फायदा क्या है? हमको इस ज्ञान से क्या फायदा? See, any information should lead some tangible benefit, right? If you're not getting any tangible benefit, what's the use? Tell me. Yes, Mataji, who's this? A friend? Huh?
You are able to detach yourself from
Your name, Mataji? Right. So welcome, Mataji.
detach yourself from
Attach in the next birth. If you are detaching in this birth, great, that's nice. Then you get attached in the next birth.
that's what we are, like we don't learn from it. We are human beings.
Yeah, I always it reminds me of a nice joke. I used to always tell. Let's share it. Once going on the road, he was walking and he slipped on a banana peel again. And what did he say? Hare yaar, with information. He's telling Arjuna, bhai, anyhow, one who takes birth is sure to die, and one who dies is sure to take birth again. So if that is going to be the cycle, then what do we understand from this? Tasmata prayanatam sochutum arhasi. You should not lament. But what is the okay, let me some senior students answer this question. You all can try. Why is Krishna using the word lament? English, India. Yes.
Lament is constantly and deeply into that.
It continuously think
Continuously
about
you are
it.
just you are into that.
हाँ.
Also said that किसी के father गए या कुछ गए, but India has never changed. So it is like what we are saying कि continuously we are lamenting over that one person कि वो आगे से Iskcon life.
Something more?
Perhaps Arjuna said in his grandfather and also to limit of the death.
Very nice point. With relevant to the situation what Arjuna is right now, yes, he wanted to pep him up to fight rather than discourage him, or rather he was already discouraged to fight. Something more important than that. One small word, lamentation. हाँ बोलो क्या है बाल कट ऑफ तुम जाएगा आंसर हाँ what about you?
No, bro, I'll pass.
One day we all are going to pass, don't worry. Yes, Deepali?
Bluffing नहीं करना.
Hey, there no bluffing, there's only wild guess, and if it falls wrong, that's all.
Probably you have taught us that show more and buy for the future. So you should not lament or you should not be
Wrong phrasing in the wrong place. शोक मोर भाई यहाँ पे बैठता नहीं है. यस दीप्ति माता जी.
जैसे अगर अपन कोई भी नाउ वी आर फोकस हमको हमारा गोल पता है वी हैव टू गेट आउट ऑफ द बर्थ एंड डेथ साइकिल और फिर भी मतलब वी शुड नो कि ये सब तो हमारा रोल है वी हैव कम हियर टू प्ले द रोल तो वी शुड नॉट लैमेंट अगर कुछ हो गया तो ठीक है यू शुड एक्सेप्ट द सिचुएशन एंड
Very nice. Taking into consideration which part of the flow of this Bhagavad Gita we are in, you have to understand that is lamentation a solution? Is lamentation a solution? We always have got lamentation. इसके लिए आप जाके किसी को बोलो अरे दुखी है घर पे ऐसा ऐसा हो गया है बहुत प्रॉब्लम में हूँ अरे चल भगवद गीता क्लास चल थोड़ा नहीं अभी मैं लैमेंट करने के मूड पे हूँ. They are happy lamenting rather than coming to the class, and that is the problem. I mean, to add on to that, there was one nice, funny thing which I had once heard. और ये क्या सोचता है? हाँ ठीक है. क्या to make someone understand? The first biggest point is we have not yet understood. We are only इसी में lamentation है. That is a good Ambani also. Are you happy? ठीक है थोड़ा और. Are you happy? ठीक है थोड़ा और. Will not is not the solution for this. So he is telling Arjuna first and foremost. He is telling Arjuna first and foremost. He is preparing the base. He is preparing the base. Now, actually, up to this part, the base is prepared for him to give the actual knowledge. He has given only Sankhya. What is told? The soul doesn't die, the soul doesn't wither, it takes birth again. So you don't have to worry. But then he is saying, you don't lament. Why? Very important.
So what need is there for
Again, at the time of Pralay, when Brahma's life is over, what happens? Everything becomes unmanifested. It is like assembling and unassembling the whole thing, keeping it again, assembling it and he's taking it inside. Again he assembles it the way he wants.
manifested. From the earth, many varieties of manifestation take place. Take for example a big skyscraper manifested from the earth when it is this item in the ultimate stage.
So building create करते हैं और बाद में तोड़ने के बाद वापस it becomes dust. So it's from dust the creation happened and again
Another thing, the source of cause is there for manifestation, either the stage of manifestation or in unmanifestation. Somehow or other, even in the unmanifestation, as this in Bhagavad Gita, that these material bodies are perishable in due course of time. But that
बोलो.
but that the soul is eternal. Then we must remember always.
It was very important and we'll discuss this and we'll close the class. Beats out the entire agenda, say entire creation.
Look on the something. Some discussion has
One minute, I want to I've been studying this advanced. Why Iskcon पहला वो ओपन कराएगा और ऑनियन गार्लिक बंद कराएगा. Please understand, it is very difficult to understand this entire concept of soul and other things. So if you think doing your monkey fund of knowledge, good fund of knowledge, not properly controlling themselves, and not being aware, is the main. Why tea coffee have you controlled? But if you are not austere, you will not get this. Not against marketing of tea or coffee. It's sheer short understanding that one has to eat only prasadam. If he eats prasadam, then he gets the understanding, the knowledge. He gets the understanding, the knowledge to. It's like I always give this example of someone wants to become a heroine, and if she says I want to eat lot of burgers and pizzas and chocolates, definitely you cannot become a Miss India or a heroine. If you want to go into a certain field, you have to follow the diet chart given by, or the requisites for that field. It's like that. Please continue, Maharaj.
Men with a poor fund of knowledge and men who are not austere cannot understand the wonders of the individual atomic spark of spirit, even though it is explained by the greatest authority of knowledge, who imparted lesson of things. Most men can look at the soul proper as wonderful either by constitution or by description. Illusion by the material to understand the question of self-understanding, even though it is a fact that without this self-understanding, all activities result in ultimate defeat in the struggle for existence. Perhaps they have no idea that one must think of the soul and thus make a solution to the material miseries.
So, if we come to the platform of soul, then our spiritual involvement will be much better and much higher. Otherwise, we will be stuck in the same four things: ahar, nidra, bhaya, maithuna. Eating, sleeping, mating and defending, which even animals do, we will also be doing, though in a human body we will be doing an activity of an animal. So this I would like to conclude today's class. Equilibrium means one who is at sama, or rather, I'm not good now. You take someone, Prabhu. Bas ho gaya.